for having me back.
Sure.
Good to be here.
Yeah, we certainly want to get to the book, and we're going to get to that, but you are blowing up on Twitter for a tweet that you said last night you sent out in response to the Attorney General's ruling to hold evidence in the Trayvon Martin case, including Zimmerman's gun.
Correct.
And I'm going to read the tweet. I want your response. It says, quote, "Read this carefully as I don't want to be misunderstood. Screw the DOJ, Department of Justice. If they won't give Zimmerman his gun back, I'll buy him a new one." Do you mean that?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, explain why you say screw the DOJ.
This guy's life has been ruined. The first district attorney didn't want to bring the case. They brought, because of pressure in the court of public opinion, they had to put a special prosecutor in there. He has been tried already. The FBI's done a thorough investigation that says this man is not a racist, yet the DOJ is launching
determine whether he's a racist or not?
Because they went and interviewed 30 people that were close to him. They tried to find evidence that he was a racist, that he'd ever used...
close to him. Of course they're not going to reveal whether somebody's
Val,
racist.
not necessarily close, meaning in his proximity. People he worked with, places that he worked out, things like this. So not family members who you might expect to cover for him. So at what point, I mean, let's take Zimmerman out of it. At what point do we let an American citizen get done with the justice process? I mean, this is a big deal. This could happen to anybody. If the government can keep hounding you, this guy's life is ruined at this point. I know we have a dead child here, but he was found not guilty by a jury of his peers. Trayvon Martin wasn't on trial. George Zimmerman was, and he's not guilty.
Right.
And
you called this a witch hunt in some ways because of public opinion judged him before he was judged in court.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But he was exonerated.
He's not guilty. So at what point does he get to recommence his life? Now he's got the Department of Justice.
After all the judicial process is over, because there are several groups talking about civil rights or civil lawsuits against him.
Well, civil lawsuits are a different thing.
Yeah, but it's still not over, right?
Okay, so why is the Department of Justice going after him when there's not one shred that this happened because Trayvon Martin was black? There's not one piece of evidence. Yet the witch hunt continues.
Well, then why is everybody saying this is a racially charged case? Everybody's...
Because the race hustlers are the ones that profit from telling people the deck is stacked against you. It's always going to be stacked against you, and they try to divide America.
Do you believe they're white race hustlers?
I believe, yeah.
So race hustler can be anybody?
Yes. Yep. And I also believe that you may be a racist if you believe only white people can be racist. Anybody can be a racist.
You can be a racist if you have the power to hold down someone else. That's a racist. You may be prejudiced. There's a difference between being prejudiced and being racist. You have to have the ability to hold power and have control over someone in order to be titled racist versus prejudice.
Anybody can be a racist.
You can be a racist if you have the power to hold down someone else. That's a racist. You may be prejudiced. There's a difference between being prejudiced and being racist. You have to have the ability to hold power and have control over someone in order to be titled racist versus prejudice.
I think anybody can be racist without power, too.
You think it's a really good idea to give George Zimmerman a gun back? I mean,
he's not guilty, Ro.
No, I understand.
He's not guilty. And as a matter of fact, don't you think he needs a gun now more than ever with all the death threats against him?
It would seem like what he's been through, he would not even want a gun to even risk going through the same thing again.
But that's his decision, Val. It's not for us to decide if we're going to curtail his liberty or not. That is his Second Amendment right to possess a firearm, defend himself, defend his family, and it is not up to you, it's not up to me to decide what's right for George Zimmerman.
Yeah.
He's an American citizen. He gets to decide what's right for him.
Yeah.
After everything is over.
Well, when's it over, Val? When's it over?
I
mean, how much more does he have to go through? There's not a shred of evidence that he is a racist, and yet the Department of Justice is freezing everything.
And Brad, you're at the center of a lot of these conversations, which is a lot about what your books are about.
Great segue,
yes,
Ryan. We're moving to the books now.
Trying to get to the book.
Oh, this is better.
You wrote another thriller, and you're